Shibuya crossing at midnight, thousands moving under light, neon colors on tired faces, flowing slowly through the night. Big screens shining endlessly, advertisements in the sky, but underneath the crowded streets, people hide their quiet lives. Shibuya crossing at midnight felt lonely in a beautiful way. No one asking where I'm going, no one asking me to stay. Umbrellas opening together like waves across the rain, footsteps mixing with the traffic like a soft mechanical train. I stood still for just a moment, watching strangers pass me by. Tokyo moving all around me like stars across the night. Shibuya crossing at midnight, jazz still playing in my ears. Muted trumpet through the static, holding all my hidden fears. Convenience store glowing nearby, coffee warming frozen hands. Late trains carrying tired people back into the sleeping land. Shibuya crossing at midnight, bright enough to hide the pain. Maybe that is why the city keeps calling me again. Convenience store lights until dawn, still shining when the night feels gone. Blue-white colors on empty streets, keeping tired hearts company. Hot canned coffee in my hands, steam rising in the cold night air. Someone quietly buying dinner, someone pretending not to care. Convenience store lights until dawn, like they never sleep at all. Tokyo breathing through the silence after the final train is gone. train sounds in the background, loneliness without a sound. Outside taxis pass slowly, neon reflected in the rain. Inside this tiny little store, everything somehow feels the same. Convenience store lights until dawn, for people who can't go home yet. Workers staring at their phones, travelers smoking cigarettes. I stood beside the window glass, watching strangers disappear, and for no special reason, Tokyo suddenly felt near. Convenience store lights until dawn, quiet as an unfinished song. Maybe cities shine the brightest for people feeling most alone. Nobody talks much here, only jazz fills up the air. Coffee cooling near the window, midnight floating everywhere. Old records spinning slowly, soft dust dancing in the light. Tokyo breathing quietly, past another sleepless night. Nobody talks much here, and somehow that feels sincere. No need to explain the sadness, no need to disappear. The master wipes the counter without saying very much. A businessman keeps listening, like the music heals enough. Outside trains are still moving, neon shining through the rain. Inside this tiny little room, nothing asked me to pretend. Nobody talks much here, only trumpet sounds so clear. Lonely people finding comfort just by sitting near. I looked around the jazz Kissa Kissa. It faces tired just like mine. Everyone carrying something hidden far behind their eyes. Nobody talks much here. That may be why I return. Because silence in this city feels softer than the world. Tokyo convenience store coffee, warming both my hands tonight. Steam rising through the cold air under fluorescent lights. Outside, the city keeps moving. Taxi shadows crossing rain. Inside this little moment, nothing feels too hard again. Tokyo convenience store coffee, cheap but strangely comforting, like the city softly whispering, you survived another day. Magazine racks and quiet footsteps, microwave humming low. Someone buying instant noodles, someone with nowhere to go. I stood beside the window, watching strangers pass me by. Everyone carrying stories hidden underneath their eyes. Tokyo convenience store coffee tastes a little like the night, lonely but somehow peaceful. Underneath the neon light, late trains fading in the distance, blue vending machine glow. Somewhere between the silence, my tired heart let go. Tokyo convenience store coffee, maybe that is why I stay. Because even simple warmth can save a heart this way. Jazz Kissa near the last train, hidden underneath the rain. Old sign hanging by the door. Slow jazz drifting from the floor. Nobody talked very much. Coffee cups and quiet thoughts. LP spinning in the dark. Trumpet lines like fading sparks. Jazz Kissa near the last train. Some people healing hidden pain. A businessman with a loosened tie. A traveler watching nights go by. The master moved in silence like he'd done for many years, carefully placing vinyl down as if protecting someone's tears. Outside, Tokyo kept running, neon lights and crossing sounds. But inside this little room, time was slowing down somehow. Jazz Kissa near the last train. Warm coffee cutting through the rain. For a while I stayed right there, breathing old nostalgic air. The window softly shook at night when the final train rolled by. And for the first time in a while, my lonely heart became quiet. Jazz Kissa near the last train. Maybe that is why I came, not to escape the city lights, but to feel human again. LP Crackle in Tokyo rain, softly washing through my brain. Trumpet drifting through the darkness like old memories remain. Tiny jazz bar underground, warm coffee and vinyl sound. Outside neon lights were shaking on the wet and empty town. LP Crackle in Tokyo rain, lonely but never strange. This city knows how to hold people trying to change. The record spinning very slowly, dust dancing in amber light. No one speaking at the counter, only music through the night. Rain kept falling near the window, late train humming far away. Tokyo breathing underneath. Another tired working day. LP crackle in Tokyo rain, like a heart that still remains, even after all the sadness, still searching through the pain. I close my eyes beside the music, holding warmth inside my hands, and somewhere in that little jazz bar, I finally could understand. LP crackle in Tokyo rain. Maybe healing feels this way. Not dramatic or loud, just slowly fading pain. Tokyo is quiet inside, even when the streets are bright. Underneath the neon colors, people hide their tired nights. Crosswalk signals keep repeating, footsteps flowing endlessly. But behind the crowded faces lives a silent loneliness. Tokyo is quiet inside. That is what I came to love, not the giant glowing billboards, but the space they leave. Enough to sit alone with coffee, enough to breathe without a word, enough to hear your own heart beating in the middle of the world. Somewhere jazz is softly playing from a basement down the street. Someone slowly turns a vinyl while the rain falls to the beat. Tokyo is quiet inside, like an old unfinished song. It never asks you to be happy, only says you can feel a little less alone here. Late train through Tokyo windows, faces drifting in pale light. Someone sleeping by the corner, someone staring at the night. The city passing like a movie, neon signs and rainy roads, quiet stations disappearing into places no one knows. Late train through Tokyo windows, carrying tired hearts back home. Office bags and silent earphones, people learning to be alone. Soft announcements in the distance, doors that open, doors that close. Every stop feels like a memory nobody fully shows. I watch reflections on the glass, mixed together with the rain. Tokyo moving without resting, like a long unfinished train. Train through Tokyo windows, jazz still playing in my head. Warm coffee and trumpet echoes, following me home instead. Some people heading toward tomorrow, others just surviving today. Somehow in this sleepless city, nobody stands in your way. Late train through Tokyo windows, cold lights underneath the sky. And somewhere between two stations, I forgot the reason why. Coffee steam and neon lights floating through another night. Tokyo glowing softly blue, while tired people pass right through. Warm paper cup between my hands, cold wind moving through the trains. Someone laughing far away, someone hiding from the pain. Coffee steam and neon lights sleeps completely. Even silence feels alive underneath the electric skies. Shinjuku signs above the street, rain reflecting at my feet, jazz still playing in my headphones, keeping lonely hearts in rhythm. I walked without a destination, following the midnight glow. Tokyo somehow understands the feelings people never show. Coffee, steam, and neon lights, a small warmth against the night. Maybe healing starts like this, quiet moments we don't miss. Vending machines humming softly, taxi shadows drifting slow. And somewhere past the crossing lights, my heavy thoughts let go. Coffee, steam, and neon lights, that is how I remember you. Not as a loud, shining city, but a place that felt true. The last train already left, but somehow I was not upset. Tokyo after midnight rain felt softer than my head. Taxi lights across the street, footsteps fading with the wind. A tired city still awake under neon skin. The last train already left, no reason now to hurry home. So I kept walking slowly through streets that felt alone. Convenience store door sliding open, warm air touching tired hands. Someone buying cigarettes, someone changing travel plans. Jazz leaking from a basement, trumpet floating through the cold. Tokyo holding sleepless people like stories. colored lights. The last train already left. Maybe that is why I stayed, because somewhere after midnight, lonely hearts become okay. Somewhere between two stations, Tokyo blurred beyond the glass. Raindrops racing down the window, like memories that slowly pass. The train moved through sleeping buildings, soft lights floating in the dark. Someone dreaming with their headphones, someone holding a tired heart. Somewhere between two stations, I forgot what day it was. Only trumpet sounds remained, and the rhythm of the rails. Quiet announcements in Japanese, doors opening, closing again. Lives crossing for just a moment, then disappearing like the rain. Somewhere between two stations, the city felt far away, even though the neon skyline still was glowing through the haze. I watched reflections in the window mixed together with the night, my face and Tokyo becoming one lonely moving light. Somewhere between two stations, maybe people heal like this, not arriving anywhere, just breathing inside the distance. The final stop was getting closer, morning waiting somewhere near. But for a little while longer, I wanted to stay here. Somewhere underneath the lights, a quiet cafe near the station, open through the night. Someone sitting by the window, watching trains disappear. Someone slowly sipping coffee, trying not to feel too much here. Tokyo keeps a seat for lonely people. That may be its gentle side. Even in the crowded silence, there's a place where hearts can hide. Old jazz playing through small speakers, Crackle soft and warm. Outside neon signs keep shining through another rainy dawn. No one asks too many questions, no one forces you to smile. Simply stay unnoticed and rest your mind a while. Tokyo keeps a seat for lonely people near vending machines and bars, near convenience store, blue lighting, and late commuter cars. I used to think big cities made loneliness feel worse, but somehow Tokyo teaches how to carry it softly first. Tokyo keeps a seat for lonely people. That is why I still return, because somewhere in this city, quiet hearts continue on. Thank you for your hard work today. That's what the city seemed to say. Neon lights beside the rain, softly easing hidden pain. People walking home in silence, tired eyes beneath the glow. Tokyo never asks questions, it simply lets you go slow. Thank you for your hard work today. Sit a while before the train. Hold your coffee with both hands. Watch the midnight city, breathe again. Convenience store light still shining, taxi passing through the mist. Someone laughing far away, someone quietly checking messages. Old jazz floating from a doorway, trumpet warm against the night. LP crackle through the window, holding lonely hearts so tight. Thank you for your hard work today, even if nobody else knows how heavy your heart became, or how far your sadness goes. Tokyo keeps a little space for tired people in the dark. A quiet seat beside the window, a small light inside the heart. Thank you for your hard work today. Maybe that is why I stay. Because somewhere in this city, lonely people feel okay. Rain marks on the elevator wall, tiny hallway, carpet old, suitcase wheels on midnight floors. Tokyo breathing through the doors. A small hotel in Shinjuku, nothing shiny, nothing new, but somehow in that narrow room, the silence felt familiar too. Vending machine outside glows blue. Last train slowly passing through. Someone smoking near the sign, someone working overtime. Window full of Tokyo gray, morning trying to find its way. Buildings stacked like quiet thoughts, dreams people haven't told. A small hotel in Shinjuku where lonely hearts can pass right through. No one asks where you came from, no one asks what you should become. Coffee cooling near the bed, late night jazz inside my head. hotel in Shinjuku. Maybe that is why it's true. Tokyo never felt too far from the person that you are. Morning air at Meiji Jingu felt different from the city sound. Just one step beyond Shibuya, and silence slowly gathered round. Trees were swaying in the sunlight. Wind was moving soft and low. Somewhere far beyond the shrine gate, Tokyo continued to flow. Morning air at Meiji Jingu. People stopping for a while. Office shoes and tourist cameras passing underneath the pines. Someone writing down a small wish. Someone tying hopes with string. Someone quietly closed their eyes, like they forgot everything. I sat down beside the pathway. Coffee warm still in my hands. Listening to distant footsteps fade into the morning land. Morning air at Meiji Jingu didn't ask for anything. No loud voices, no bright music, only wind and breathing trees. Tokyo runs so fast at night, but somehow leaves a place to rest. Maybe that is why this city always stays inside my chest. Morning air at Meiji Jingu, soft as unfinished memories. And for just a little moment, I forgot the rush in me. Asakusa smells like childhood. Sweet smoke floating through the air. Old red lanterns softly glowing, people everywhere, tiny shops beside the temple, warm ninjoyaki in my hands, tourists laughing in their kimonos, like scenes from older lands. Asakusa smells like childhood, something warm I used to know, festive lights and distant music from so many years ago. Grandmother selling little charms, rain-worn signs above the street, paper fans and lucky cats, small old stores I wanna keep. I walk slowly through the alley, listening to the city breathe, Tokyo changing every minute, still protecting memories. Asakusa smells like childhood, even strangers feel familiar here. For a little while the busy world simply disappeared. Train sounds passing far away, evening slowly turning gold, and somewhere in this crowded town, my lonely heart felt old. Asakusa smells like childhood, sweet and quiet in the rain. Maybe that is why I know I will come back here again. Tokyo exists in different times, glass towers touching rainy skies, old alleyways beside neon signs. Yesterday and tomorrow collide, Roppongi shining after midnight, Omotesando dressed in white, Ginza moving slow and clean, like a silent movie scene. Tokyo exists in different times, every station changes lives, one stop feels like the future calling, another feels like memories falling. Beneath the tracks, old men smoking, jazz playing back, young lovers staring at their phones, yet nobody feels alone. Crosswalk sounds and temple bells Luxury streets and cheap hotels. Tokyo never tries to hide the strange worlds living side by side. Tokyo exists in different times, morning trains and sleepless nights. Some people rushing toward their dreams, some just trying to survive. I kept walking through the city without knowing where to go, but somehow every different street felt like somewhere I had known. Tokyo exists in different times. That may be the reason why, even after all these years, the city still stays in my mind. Neon reflections after rain, floating softly down the lane. Tokyo wearing midnight colors, like tears nobody explains. Umbrellas closing one by one. Last cigarette before home. Taxi lights across the puddles. People learning to be alone. Neon reflections after rain. Beautiful but filled with pain. Every glowing sign above me couldn't hide the tired faces. Somewhere music from a bar, leaking gently through the dark. Trumpet sounds and distant laughter, like old memories in my heart. I walk slowly through Shibuya without needing anywhere. Just the sound of wet footsteps and cold night air. keeping rhythm with my feet. Neon reflections after rain. Maybe that is why I came to find beauty in the sadness and feel alive again. Tokyo doesn't ask me to smile. It lets me walk alone for a while. Neon lights above my head, quiet words I never said. Shibuya moves like morning rain, thousands passing through the same. But in the middle of the crowd, my lonely heart was not too loud. Tokyo doesn't ask me to shine. It leaves a small seat next to time. Coffee warm in both my hands, late trains crossing silent lands. Old hotel in Shinjuku light, gray buildings holding up the night. Carpet halls and narrow doors, somehow I felt safe once more. Tokyo doesn't ask me to stay. It only lets the night replay. Jazz from somewhere down the street, LP Crackle, tired feet. Meiji trees beside the noise, wind that speaks without a voice. People breathing for a while underneath the city smile. Tokyo doesn't ask me to smile. It knows I've traveled many miles. If I sit and rest tonight, the city softly holds the light. Tokyo says rest here tonight, underneath the neon light. You walked far enough today. You can put your heart away. feel warmth inside my hands. Quiet streets and vending stands. Tokyo says rest here tonight. No need to shine so bright. No need to laugh for anyone. The day is already done. Somewhere people still are working. Somewhere lovers miss their train. Somewhere lonely travelers wander through the soft electric rain. Old LP beside the window, trumpet crying low and warm. Tiny jazz bars in the alley, sheltering hearts from the storm. Tokyo says rest here tonight. Even sadness needs a place. Even tired souls deserve a little silence and grace. The city glows beyond the glass, like memories passing slow. And in the middle of the darkness, a gentle feeling